Salute everybody. Welcome to Switching Lanes with Miss Parker. Miss Parker, happy hump day again. I don't know where time's going, but it's flying. I'm not going to be here too long, just a little bit. I want to get my history done. I'm going to be doing history every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, something different. But just to show African Americans that it's still racism in stolen America. I think we tend to forget things that have happened not so long ago. But first, let me give a shout out to my subscriber. I got my box. Leo, thank you. Her son has autism, and he made me this egg, you guys. It's so cute for the desk. I'm going to put it right here where I had it. Thank you, Leo. And she gave me a church bag. She makes these for church. I always need a bag to put stuff in, okay, y'all? And I got so much in this box. Baby, I got some sage. I got some sunscreen. I got good old foundation and makeup with a beautiful letter. I love the letter. I got cream. I got vitamins. And I got tons of mascara, eyeliner, and everything in this box. Like so much face mask. Man, this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful beads. Yeah, I know I love my beads. Look at my beads now. I love my beads. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. I got so much in this box, y'all. It is so much to uncover. And so much eyeshadow. I even got, look you guys, I got oatmeal lavender sea salt for the bath. It's relaxing. So, yeah. And the flaxseed oil. Flaxseed. It helps people with breast cancer. Shout out to you. Thank you. I got lip gloss. I got soaps. I got everything. Y'all know I love me some lip gloss. Love me. It's just a box full, guys. Look, it's a whole box full of stuff. With a nice letter. She lost her favorite aunt due to breast cancer. So she wrote me a 2-page letter. And she broke down everything that she sent me in the box. Like everything. She said the makeup is by Toni and Guy, a brand people don't know a lot about, but it's good, is what she said. She said, Leo is my autistic son. He made you the egg for your desk, dear. The tote bag is from Bible Totes I make for church for my church family, Autumn. Thank you, Autumn. I appreciate you. The letter was beautiful. And she broke down everything. She broke down how she loves how we cover the content and stuff. And she appreciates all the content creators and her only aunt, 4-time survivor, and then it took her life on the 5th time of breast cancer. So thank you, Autumn, for all. I got my little thing of Vaseline. Can't go wrong with this box. I got so much. She gave me so much. She gave me so much. I cried when I picked it up. I cry when I pick anything up that y'all send me because I appreciate it so much. Oh, man, y'all. And I appreciate it because on the day that I just don't feel good, she sends me that box and it meant everything to me. So, yeah. How we doing on this hump day? First and foremost, how are my Ryderz doing? First and foremost. That's important. It was, Goddess. It really was. Let me give my shout outs, my disclaimer. I do got to go if you guys don't mind helping me reach it. It's an incentive given to the content creators by YouTube for us to make more money and for them to take it back, okay? Hey, Goddess sis, Alicia sis. For you to notice, this video is for criticism, commentary, education, research under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. No copyright infringement intended. Let me pin that before I get too far up. Yeah, y'all, I've been up since 6:30. Man, I feel horrible. Oh, man. I ain't felt this way. I never planned it on feeling this way. But hey, I do. Dang. Alicia, can you drop me another one of those? disclaimers that you drop so I can pin it, please. Rare Jewel, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. She said, help Miss Parker reach her goal. Also, don't forget to hit that like button for me. Hey, Drea Boo. Hey, Capricorn sis. Ranisha Boo, Davita, it's Colton. Hey, y'all. Jordy, what it do, sister? Hey, Lala's World, how you doing? Thank you for coming through. Hey, Yolanda. Thank you, Drea. Thank you. I love you too. Hi, Venetia. How you doing? It was, Jordy. That egg was super cute. It was. Hi, Simply Me. Hey, Boo. Hey, Miami. How you doing? Happy Hump Day to you too. Hey, Barbie sis. Hey, To The Point. Hi, Loves. Hi, Fine. Hey, M Big M. How you doing? Happy Hump Day. It was, Ranisha. It was sweet. She said, this made me happy. I need to see some love. Hey, honey, 5K, my boo. Hey, Mom Duke Spooky. Miss Low Key, what it do, love? Hey, sweet honey sis. Hey, Nick. Hey, Dale. Hey, Tammy C. Hi, Missy. How you doing? Happy Hump Day. Hi, Pookie Poo. Hi, Latasha. This is my twin, y'all. I'm LATO. She's LATA. Thank you, Rodnisha girl. Man. Hey, Sherry. Hey, the real one. Hey, Samad. My love's all up in here. Hey, Vanessa. All right, let me get it, Alicia. Yeah, let me pin it. Thank you, Alicia. I appreciate you. Just see what it do, sister. Rhapsody. Hey. Man, I hope y'all having a blessed hump day. I do. Hi, Gina sis. I hope y'all having a blessed hump day. Shank. I said, tighten my bracelet. This tighten it. How loose do you want it? Tighten it as tight as you can. Y'all are so loose on me. Thank you. Hi, Bernice. I'm all right. Hey, Tracy Jones. Hey, Carmen. Thank you, sweet honey sis. I hope y'all doing okay. That's what matters. I'm blessed. If you get to wake up, you blessed. Can't complain. When we talk about racism in America, do we only care if it happens to us? Because I think sometimes we do. I think long as it happens to us, our cousins, our mothers, our children, our niece, our nephew, that's when it matters to us. Does it matter to y'all when it's our own? Because I'm going to take you guys all the way to slavery. Hey, Jennifer. Okay. Get you some rest, Latasha, okay? Thank you for coming through. Prayers to you, okay? Much prayers to you. Get you some rest. I definitely get it. Don't be doing too much. I'm going to get you. But it's like we forget. We forget until something happens versus remember at all times. And I try to remember at all times what has happened to African Americans. What's happening to the Africans that were stolen and brought to America, right? Hey, Noel. The Africans that were stolen and brought to America. This is a story about, let me get it, y'all. Eric Gardner. Sorry, y'all. It's the story of Eric Gardner and how racism played a big role. It showed what we're still dealing with. Hey, Rena. What we're going to continue to deal with. See, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better than Eric Gardner, George Floyd, Trayvon, Breonna Taylor down in my home state of Kentucky. The young black brother that just had his windows broken out and the officer got off. Because see, I have a son. That's why I don't forget racism. You don't have to have a son to forget it, but I fear for my son every day. I fear that one day that Poppy's gonna walk out the door and it's gonna be one of these times. Right, honey, 5K. But I've experienced it. You know, at restaurants. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, Jordy. See, racism when it comes to black and mixed, Jordy, it matters. Because I'm going to take you back, Jordy, along the way of doing history. But I want to take you guys to see this with me. To see how racism in stolen America happens today. Remember, this wasn't too long ago. We are only in the 20th century, right? Gina said, I've experienced it too, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But Alicia, on this day, was he selling them? Did they have video footage showing that he was selling them? Or are we going off the past of what he used to do? Because, see, I got a couple of stories in my vault for history until we get all the way down to why we are treated this way. How it all started, I'm going backwards instead of frontwards. Next week, we're going to go down to New Orleans. New Orleans, baby. To Katrina. Then I'm going to take you guys down to Florida. To Trayvon Martin. And then I'm going to take you guys to a neighborhood in New York. Mm-hmm. Thank you, honey, 5K. Hey, Time Warp. Hey, Miss Texas Team. Yes, Miss Texas Team. So we're going to travel. It's deeper than skin color. Stay woke. Let's go, Ranisha. It's way deeper. But you guys are going to get to see so much. Not just the courtroom, how they really feel. How people really feel, and it's going to fuck you up because it did me. Let's get to it. And thank you to everybody that came in. Thank you guys. See, when you talk about something important like this, nobody wants to hear this. I don't want to always talk about death. You know, this has got a little bit in it, but we need to be more enlightened on a lot of stuff. I worked in a school where a teacher came and said they were some YT coming to the school. I told her, not nice because I know what you call me. Wow. Hey, Gina Dallas Diva. Hey, Angel One. So we have to start opening up our minds and moving in different directions. Okay, I just want to switch lanes and directions of where I'm taking things. Okay. Yes, Jordy. Let's get to it.
You over here trying to grab it. Yo, come on, yo. Yo, no, 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 I didn't do nothing. I did nothing. I did nothing, yo. I did nothing. I did nothing, yo. For what? I'm going for what? What did I do? I ain't do nothing. Who the fuck I sold it to? Every time I turn around, you say I sold the ticket to somebody. Who? Me and my man here waiting for some girls, we ready to leave, and that's it. You do nothing. People out here fighting, you grabbing me for what? You did nothing. For what? What did I do? I did not sell a
Y'all keep hearing him yell. I did nothing. It's people out here fighting and y'all messing with me? Poor Earth.
Is just not there to charge a white police officer in connection with the death of a black civilian.
A grand jury in New York City has refused to indict yet another white police officer said to have killed an unarmed black man. The incident, which involved an apparent chokehold, was captured on video and went viral. And tonight, protesters are in the streets. The president is weighing in, and ABC's Ron Claiborne is on the story.
Protesting yet another controversial grand jury decision. Adding a new chin to the growing course of civil discontent across the country, and now responding to the white police officers seen.
And let me tell y'all something. Hey, Miss Douglas. Absolutely, he was wrong. Hey, Valerie. When we understand and why police were formed, we'll understand why they really found absolutely fine. It's a racism in stolen America. Fine. It comes right along with it, right? To hear your husband or your loved one say they can't breathe. To have to bury your loved one with nothing. With nothing. Never seeing why they arrested him. Nothing. She said a new form of slavery. But this is what's happening in stolen America. It's been happening. It never stopped. And one thing the boys in blue do, they stick together no matter what. She said they tried to jump on my big brother in front of our house. We saw it out the window. My cousin ran and saved his life. Hey, Kawanda. Record next time, A Young. Don't just look out the window. Record. Hey, Sports Battle. How you doing? Thank you for coming through. Record these incidents. Yeah. We know from a lot of cases, one that we trying to understand now. Ain't that what we're doing now with the Naziah Harris case? Trying to understand why nobody knew anything, did anything. As a person under the code, he should know that's the last cry for help. Speaking that last cry is an exhale. Being unable to breathe, 99.9% is inhaling action. But listen to everything everybody's saying.
Some of you may have.
My loved one will never come back. Salute, Shane. My loved one will never come back. But he'll get 15 years. Absolutely, A Young. He said, yeah, they're going to say I did it on purpose. You did. See, in this video, it shows a lot more than just what happened to Eric Garner. You know? Oh, yeah, fine, it is. But we're going to get to that. See, we're starting backwards, you know, to gain understanding. Now, it's no longer nooses, but, you know, a knee in the neck, a little strangulation. Yeah, cut off earth circulation. Thank you, Valerie. Hey, Detroit, hey, sis. Yeah, that's what it is, the real one. Cut off earth circulation. Cap said no empathy, no remorse, no. He's sitting here like Eric Garner isn't even gone. Hey, Alita. As if Eric Garner's ready to walk back in to his home with his 4 children and his wife. Any day. Like it ain't like he died or anything. He just... Oh, yeah, A Young.
So, yeah. So that's 30 years.
But that
It's America. making him feel okay to be disappointed that she said, you may need to go to jail. What? For killing that Negro? Yeah, Alicia. Real surprise. That's part of their initial training. Even though they don't tell them to do it, put you teaching. They're never going to tell them they're training them. Even our own kind. They sit back down and watch. Remember what happened to the black lady? They called for protection. We're going to talk about her too with our history. Racism stolen in America. In stolen America, yeah. Oh, there's definitely no empathy or humanity. Tusco Capricorn, she said the system is not designed for us to be treated fairly. You ever walked in Macy's? You have your purse, you look cute. At least to us, we look decent. And a white couple will go in front of you. A mother and a daughter, and you'll come behind. And they'll walk where you're going to trip over their feet. Can I help you? You didn't ask them. Were you like, you didn't ask them if you could help them? That's that racism in stolen America. Where you feel uncomfortable, you turn out the door because I'm not even going to spread my money here now. Why do you think their prices is what their prices is? It's not for us to be able to afford. Somebody said feeling so privileged. Yeah, goddess. Hey, Sherry.
Stopping to talk to him about why he was selling Lucy's on.
Right. Nobody else. They never said. They just said you're selling stolen cigarettes. Why wasn't it a ticket? Hey, Wanda, how you doing? Where's the ticket? Where's the video? They have a video of them choking him out, which they all lied. You know how when you're young, you say you want to be a police officer because you really thought the meaning was to protect. You really thought the meaning of being a police officer was to protect your community. The badge has showed its way. The badge has showed you guys the true meaning of what it stands for. And I get all officers aren't bad, but they turned a blind eye. Miss Sonia Massey, for crying out to Jesus. She's unalive. She's no longer here. Yes, my broke them. Ticketing. We can't boycott these stores and because of loss of revenue for them. We can't spend money in our business in our own communities. If we do, we might accidentally, what did you say? Create another black. That's coming up in history next, the real one. Oh, that's next. It's coming. Oh, protect and serve. That's right.
Ms. Snipes-Garner, my last question is, do you remember the last thing that you and Eric said?
It was a judge for me. Just stick to the question, how it impacted you. It impacted her. To know that you're with somebody for 26 years and they're never coming home. That alone. Come on, Wise Libra, very much so. I didn't like how she was being treated either. Yeah, Time Warp, they very much twisted her words. She didn't say nothing wrong. Everything she said had something to do with that question. Make you think about other trials that's set to come, don't it? Corporate America, stolen America.
To each other. when you last saw him on the late morning of July 17th?
He said to me, I love you. I said, I love you. He said, I love you back. And he asked me what I was cooking that evening. And I said I was going to cook pork chops and rice and beans. And he says, that sound good. And I said, anything sound good to you, fat boy?
To Garner's pockets.
They said that he sold a Lucy.
But they found nothing. Thank you intentionally. Thank you. If you guys don't mind helping me reach my goal, you guys, please. It could be $1. They found nothing on him. He said, why are y'all harassing me? They said he sold a Lucy. Thank you, Shelly. So he got unalive for a single cigarette. Are they okay? When I walked in many Arab stores and got a single cigarette for years. How'd you do? I'm just saying. How the judge talked to the wife was so distasteful. How they talked to her period was so distasteful. My prayers go out to the wife of Garner.
To the gentleman that was fighting, which didn't happen.
Why was he so? Y'all mean to tell me for him to get unalive too? Thank you, Lisa. For him to be unalive, TT. Let's go, Miss Sharon Jackson. Justice for both of them. So you didn't call the ambulance, knowing he had asthma. He said that's their job. He said the police supposed to do that. They watching this man. That you mean to tell me I'm watching my friend get unalived in front of me, getting choked out, knee on his neck, hand pushing him with the most pressure, listening to my friend say he can't breathe, and they're scared, man. Is she okay? That's where she was going with it, Candy. Why didn't you call the ambulance? He was breathing fine, ma'am. Until the officers pulled up on him, ma'am. That's what she's saying, Miss Dimples. Let me let y'all finish hearing it. She's blaming the friend. That was crazy to me. Okay, Nick. Thank you. The defense is going, yeah, we want him to take off his badge, Your Honor. I mean, he's retired. And she's like, okay, yeah, jury, know that he's retired. I mean, but he's retired. Thank you, Novi sis. What that got to do with what he's about to talk about? What did him wearing his badge, something he worked hard for, all because he's not racist? Because he went down with the dirty. Alicia said, F that judge. Miss Douglas, the wife was better than me. Oh, Shelly, I'm praying for you. I missed you too. Yep, the real one. Thank you, Novi Sissy. Nuh-uh. Memphis Most Wanted. This is real. This is the story of Garner. Yeah. He said this must be a movie. Hey, Memphis, when I seen it, I'm telling you, the first time I watched it was today. I never watched it. See, this is me educating myself, Memphis. Hey, Nicole Neal. Misrepresentation, absolutely. This is me educating myself. That's why I said I'm going to start doing history. Right, Stephanie? It threw me. It made me so sick to my stomach. But see, Memphis, this is a part of our history, right? Ain't it like a movie? Thank you, Novi Sissy. Ain't it like a movie, y'all? Ain't life of black people like a movie? Wait till we get to the end of the history. After a few more stories. Thank you, Ronnie Shabu. Thank you, Jennifer. The judge definitely need to be charged. I can't stand her right now. I'm so sick to my stomach. And to know his kids, one of his children was in court and his wife. And this is what oh my goodness.
From him is just because.
Zaxby's giant chicken finger quesadillas. Get them while you can. Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
Take back control of your erections and optimize testosterone through HIMS. This daily dual action pill includes prescription.
Just because it's just not reasonable to follow out those procedures.
How y'all feeling so far after watching this? You know, especially with anybody that's watching it for the first time. How are y'all really feeling? I know Memphis right. I said the same thing. It messed me up. The judge was Adeline. And I do mean Adeline. Well, what's the point of having a prosecution and a defense if the prosecution got to sit down, be quiet, shut up? You know what I'm saying? I'll run this. Well, hell, you can't. You ain't the one to ask questions. You didn't talk to witnesses and shit. That's what the jury's there for, to listen. It's the control. It's the power for me. Yep. Let's go, Latif. Let's go. Oh, yeah, Time Warp. Alicia. Yeah, Jordy, I'm just saying. Disgusted. Not, she said, but not surprised. Okay. It's crazy, but in our face. We know what it is. It's just hard when it's in our... I agree, Drea. 100%. And it's showing you that's how they do in New York. And not just in New York, Samad, because we're going to get to all 50 states, okay? With racism in stolen America. Look, James says some things will never change. Yeah. Had the black girl read the verdict to you. You are a definition of why we are losing. For all the black people on the jury. Not because he's black. It was because of the realness of the video. Y'all let people convince you guys and get in your head. Knowing what y'all seen, the man said, why are y'all bothering me? It was things he said prior to being choked unalive. Why are y'all harassing me? I ain't doing nothing. You know? Man, the real one. Ryderz history. Racism in stolen America. Pay attention. Stolen America. Stolen. Now we're going to go up to Minnesota next week. R.I.P. to George Floyd. We're going to go up to Minnesota. I might save George Floyd. Because I want to, with all these hurricanes, Hurricane Erin. Let's go, Memphis. From Hurricane Erin, all these hurricanes, where all these relief and funds are being funded, They're putting up a fight, for Hurricane Helene. Where was the fight for Katrina? Where was the fight for the African Americans down in Katrina? Y'all put that American on us, right? Yeah, I think we need to go down to New Orleans. I don't think that really hit us because it didn't happen to everybody. I think we should go down to Katrina. See how our ancestors was floating on the water. Left for what they was already considered to themselves dead. Okay? In Ryderz history. Salute to everybody. Thank you guys for helping me reach my goal. Thanks to everybody that pulled up today. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow, but I'll see you guys next week. We're going to ride to New Orleans. Get your life jackets on. The water's a little steep. I just said I lost my uncle in Katrina. He said in the New York Police Department last October, according to New York City Comptroller Scott Stinger, who announced the settlement. Yeah, Ranisha. $5.9 million ain't gonna bring back the family. It ain't gonna bring him back to his family. Oh, we gonna talk about it, Kiwana. Alita, we gonna talk about it, okay? Look, Real One said $5.9 million awarded to them for what if he wasn't murdered? They needed them to be quiet. Black people, stop letting them pay you guys off to shut your mouth. Lives are not worth money. Not mine, okay? My children's lives will never be worth money. I ain't never had $1 million, so goddamn it, I ain't going to let it change me now. Not when it comes to mine. I'm not shutting my mouth for nothing. I don't want your money. I don't want blood money. I want my child. I want my loved one. You know, the root to all evil is money. It's always money involved in these cases. Pay attention, okay? From the Zaya on down, baby. We looking at the family, baby. It's bigger than this. Look at Frank. Still running scandalous business. Business as usual. It's showtime. All right? Yeah, fine. That's all we were. Wasn't it all we was worth in slavery? Fine. Pennies on a nickel. Think about it, fine. All we've ever been worth was for some money. Didn't they sell us as slavery as our ancestors? That's all, Q-on. Just saying, Miss Douglas. Hey, T. Man, shout out to everybody that came through. I'm getting up out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow because I'm going on their side. I'm going to walk on y'all side of the tracks, Trump. We get to see all the, the essayers with the money. Why y'all don't want to show us Epstein's files? Who played off Epstein even being alive? Nobody ever seen anything. Now they're turned pages. Just like they don't want to give us Eric Garner's transcripts, we know. Like they try to give us Martin Luther King's and they want to point out in Martin Luther King's about him being with a man. Hell, that's all he was around for days and days. I can expect it. Hey, Brown Eyes. They want us to hate ours because he slept with a man. When in fact, Elon Musk's daughter's gay. So many of their children are. Very much. Pride. Thank you, Gina. Thank you so much. I love you too. Thank you. I'm just saying, T. They wanted that one page to stick out. Not give us the page of y'all smothering Dr. King. See, y'all wanted us to think the bullet killed Dr. King when in fact that pillow that y'all made the nurse come in there and put over his face. We don't give a damn. I got gay cousins and so much one I love them. We ain't judging our own for shit. That's our problem. They want to put out his documents. Hell, he want to sit down with the white man. Hell, he was trying to bring peace just a little bit. Just a little bit. Just like they want to put out JFK's. We knew JFK was up there getting his knob slobbed on by Marilyn Monroe for years. Hell, we know about the Kennedy curse and all that shit for power. See, when you want power and stuff, y'all better get into that secret society shit. When they want the power. And they want more power, guess what it does? Karma. With blood oaths come sacrifices. Somebody got to go. Y'all wonder why they kept having them final destination deaths and shit in the Kennedy curse. Why we don't believe in all of that? We believed in the Bible, right? For those that's, of the Bible, love church. Didn't they deal with magic and spells and pharaohs in Moses' days? They turned their rods into snakes, didn't they? Just saying. Just saying. They come with a little black magic or something, don't it? Mm-hmm. Just, talking out loud. But pull up with me as we go to New Orleans, and don't forget your life vest, okay? It's going to be real wet. Real racist. Wear some protection, okay? But we're going to see our people through. We're going to keep talking about it and we're going to bring up history that they don't want us to know. The first black president wasn't Obama. It was black cowboys. Mm-hmm. We don't know that. Do your kids know it was black cowboys? Or just, they want to keep selling them John Wayne figurines. I know. Okay, Kiana. I know. Okay, Miss Douglas. Oh, fine. Ain't it Babylon? Think about it, fine. We all know that the NOLA is Sin City. If you go in your Bible, there is always a place here on earth that's somewhere in the Bible. You hear me? I know, Miss Douglas. Okay, Jordy. Come on, T. Her wool, baby. This hair is full of wool, baby. Her hair is full of wool. Tell your kids to touch your hair. Don't it feel like that cotton? They wanted us. That's that history they want to take from you. How dare y'all say Jesus was hella taste of Negro? How dare them portray Jesus to be a little Negro? He was. Very much so. Where our people was robbed from to bring over to the land y'all stole from the Indians. Let's talk about it. And quit celebrating Thanksgiving, y'all. Thanksgiving is the day they got thanks. They sat around the table and thanked each other on coming in prospering America from the Indians. With us shackled up. In bondage. Your grandmother's grandmother. Okay? Okay, team? Shout out to everybody. I will see y'all next week. You ain't got to have gas money. This ride is on me. For Black History. Okay? Racism in Stolen America. Shout out to all my riders. Yeah.
Miss Parker, the YouTube star, lighting up the screen, you know who you are, bringing news you can use and a laugh or two. She's got the facts, the fun, and the realest view, with a voice so smooth and a smile so bright. She's shining like a beacon in the darkest night. Deep dives on the stories that really matter. She's breaking it down, cutting through the chatter. Pop and stay a while, you'll feel right at home. She's got a little something for everyone, with a heart so big and an attitude strong. A friend, a voice for the unheard, asking all the questions, never missing a word, or a second to none. She's blazing like the sun. Miss Parker, got the news to amuse and the truth to reveal. Digging for the answers, keeping it real. For those who need a champion, she's standing tall. Fighting for justice, she's giving her all. With every upload, she's making a change. Bringing people together, no matter the range. So hit that subscribe, don't miss a beat. Miss Parker's got the content that can't be beat. Questions we all have, she's not afraid to ask. Uncovering the story, she's up to the task. With a laugh, a wink, and a spirit so true. Miss Parker's got the magic and she's sharing it with you. Pop in, stay a while, you'll feel right at home. She's got a little something for everyone. With a heart so big and an attitude strong. Miss Parker's where you know you belong. She's an advocate, a friend, a voice for the unheard. Asking all the questions, never missing a word. Or a second to none. She's blazing like the sun. Miss Parker, the only one. So here's to Miss Parker, the star of the show, bringing light to the world everywhere she goes. Tune in, stay tuned, you'll never be the same. Miss Parker, remember the name. Miss Parker, remember the name. So